Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview. This time covering VCT Americas Stage 2 for playoffs. My guest at this time is Tex of Leviatan, this time finishing their matchup against KRU Esports with a victory under their belts, thus moving on forward into the second round of the lower bracket and in said playoff stage. And so, Tex, thank you so much for the opportunity. Of course, congrats on taking down the regional rival in Crew. First and foremost, about the result, taking them down while also moving forward into the playoffs. What's going through your mind? How you feel?
Just incredibly proud of my team. I'm not gonna lie. We're really working hard right now, and we really want this playoff run. So I'm just really proud that the work is paying off, and we're getting wins. And I'm just super proud of my rookies. I'm proud of my vets. I'm just really happy.
And most definitely, this was one in which had like a few days in advance to prepare themselves for whoever would go down to the lower bracket. Whereas on the other side of the coin, you guys were coming off of that loss to Sky 9, so had a lot less time to prepare yourselves for this matchup. That said, given that you guys had to make that switch from first match to today, how did you view the process that this team kind of took upon themselves from then up until now?
The preparation was pretty easy because we played them not long ago, and they don't really change that much. They just kind of have a game style, and they kind of follow it on all the maps. So the prep really wasn't a problem. It's more like retaining energy. It's tiring to play a match. Almost back to back. So really, it's just making sure our energy levels are good. And I'm also really sick right now. So I've been trying to just rest, but also work hard at the same time. So I'm trying to keep a balance. And yeah, that's it really.
You having a cold or you have a fever? What's going on?
Yeah, it's like a cold, and sometimes it's like hot, like warm and hot. Like I got like barely any sleep last night. I'm on like probably like 1 or 2 hours of sleep, and I was trying to keep my team hyped the whole time, so I'm pretty dead. But yeah, I'm like blowing my nose every round, and it sucks because I'm a Sentinel player, so I'm trying to blow my nose in the freeze time, but I also got to set up. So it's
Mhm.
like it's stressful, but it's all good. I'll play through it, and it's no big deal.
A Herculean effort, that's for sure, and it's one in which it ended with success against a team like Crew. You mentioned a little bit about their play style. How can you kind of describe that as such from your point of view regarding Crew's play style?
Very aggressive. They just like do like a C prod. Like they throw the one way, they throw the dart, and if you don't break it, they just go in. It's like a very simple team, and if they're down numbers, they just walk around the map. It's just they have a lot of tendencies that they do every game, and you can kind of read into that and play against it.
Not going into the series real quick. It started off with Lotus with a very interesting first map. Normally, Crew's not really that strong in that map, but definitely they set the tone with their early lead in this map in the first half of said map, and then you guys were able to claw back and then eventually force overtime, and then at that point you guys took it away at the very end there. Walk me through the change in just Crew's performance and their effectiveness early on in Lotus, and how were you guys able to overcome that?
Yeah, so we could tell they just had a game plan and they were just following it. We can tell that they watched our VOD and they really studied us. So we kind of had to do things that we're not really that comfortable with. Play new setups, play new fake things, and we really just had to figure out what they're doing and adapt. And I think that's something my team is really really good at is adapting and figuring out the problem. Um, and yeah, it was really just playing around that and shutting down their hero plays, and yeah, that was it.
Most definitely, and talk to me about Sunset. Obviously losing in map two, and that kind of allowed Crew to claw back into the series and force that map three. What was the biggest takeaways for you from that time frame from your point of view?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, they do a lot of prods, which means like they just kind of poke the site and kind of see like if anyone's playing in there, and if no one's playing in there, then they just go in. They did that to me at B like 10 rounds in a row. So we kind of used that information for the next map because we saw them doing the C prod, and like we know like okay, if there's nothing there, they're just gonna go in. So they had that same tendency between the two maps, and really it was just like the biggest thing was resetting. It's a BO3 for a reason. We win a map, they win a map, and then it all comes down to the last game. And I might have not had the best stats in the series, but I was really trying to hype my team up every round and encourage my team every round as much as I can. and I think it worked out pretty well.
Think the same can be said for like your other teammates, them being like, Sato Nokianos, these kinds of players that have been making plenty of noise in this stage, either like in the stage or even outside of the stage, or, you kind of get the gist of what I'm trying to get at. Still though, like, how have you viewed the team's kind of form with the addition of these two players now? You know, all guns are blazing and finally having that feeling like, okay, now everything's clicking, now we can kind of like kick ass. How have you viewed that evolution of the team with these two players in mind?
Yeah, basically they just kind of had to figure out how we like to play as a core. Me, King, and Com. And over time, with a lot of scrims, a lot of odd review, they're just on the same page as us. They make the same calls we would. Like the chemistry is really, really well outside of the game too. We love each other like a family, and honestly, it's amazing. They were the perfect fits for the team. I really couldn't have wished for anyone else. Both are incredibly talented, and they're going to have long, long careers in VCT. And yeah, I'm happy that I'm helping mold them. They teach me things too. It's like a cycle, they teach me and I teach them, and it's a big cycle, and we all just love each other. It's pretty nice.
Obviously, there's one thing to consider, when it came to bringing them on and knowing their potential and having to like understand how they play things and how what makes them click. And it's another to actually see this kind of form translate seamlessly, I would say, into the main stage. Did it even surprise you that this team would be able to improve so quickly and kind of feel like revitalized with these two people?
No, honestly, not surprised at all. Because when they first tried out, we instantly were playing really, really good. We kind of had like that honeymoon phase going, where like you can kind of see the potential of what can happen. And of course, like every team, it falls off because once we start, identifying mistakes, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, once I saw that honeymoon phase of how good we can play right off the start, and I was just really, really, honestly excited to play the season with them. And they both take criticism really well, and they both apply it really, really well. So it's like they're just really easy to work with.
Going back into the loss on Cloud9, obviously, like I would say that is like the wildest match or series that we've seen this year in this league. I mean, plenty of twists and turns. Literally, I'm not exaggerating, and it was
Yeah.
one that I would assume that like it would throw a heavy wrench into the team's mental. But obviously, as we've saw today, that's not really the case. That said, how are you guys able to like absorb that loss and the way you guys lost and just kind of like reset mentally for the entire team, including yourself?
So for me individually, I played like really bad in the C9 game, so I had to really just get out of my head and realize like, bro, I won Americas, I got top 3 champs, I'm one of the best players in the world. I just got to be confident. Um, and that's really it. Like, the first, when you first lose a match, that day or that night is like pretty depressing. I'm not gonna lie, especially for me individually, because I'm very hard on myself. And if I have a bad performance, and if it's a close game like that, and I played bad and we lost, I take a lot of blame on myself. So I really had to just get out of my head, talk to my friends, talk to my IGL, and you know, let them bring me back to earth. And we do that to each other. We're like each other's therapists in a way. We comfort each other, we tell it's fine. And like we played bad as a team, it's no one's fault. And yeah, the next day we had practice. We're trying our hardest. We're studying the other team. We're doing everything we can, and that's really all we can do is just work hard and execute it in the server.
With that said, now you guys move on forward into the next round of the lower bracket, facing off against NRG in the schedule tomorrow, to be more exact. But before kind of going into that, I want to ask you just sort of the significance of this match, and not only does it help you guys move forward into the journey into qualifying for champions, it also gives you, or it also gives MIBR that ticket to champions as well. I want to ask you just sort of like how do you feel about that? Giving your ex teammate Aspas just the opportunity to go to Paris and appear in another champions.
Yeah, I was in his stream last night, and he's like telling me what skins to use, how to DM. He's like giving me all these tips. He's like, he wants to go to champs bad. I can't blame him. Honestly, it felt really good. I love Aspas. He's still a good friend of mine. I never wish anything bad for him and his wife Naxi. They're both amazing, and yeah, honestly, really happy. Everyone at MBBR is really nice, and yeah, it was like another motivation, to win today. It's like, I had all of Brazil on my side. I felt it like the whole chat. 10,000 people all spamming, good luck, you got this. And yeah, I really wanted to win for him. I'm not going to lie, for myself and for him. So yeah, it felt good.
I saw like the thousands of like Brazilian comments like revolving around the Leviatan like post match tweet and also the Cruz post match tweet. On the subject of Aspas, I want to ask you sort of like you're now with yet another bombastic Brazilian duelist in Sato, and you've already been teammates with Aspas. How do you kind of compare both of those guys?
I'm not gonna lie, they're both incredible at this game. I think Sato, with enough experience and enough playing, he's gonna be just as good as Aspas. And they both have really, really long careers in Valorant. Sato honestly reminds me of Aspas a lot, and I even tell him that. I'm like, bro, you're like legit a mini Aspas. You are insane. And I try to feed him that confidence because he deserves it. He's a nice kid. He's a funny kid. He's really good at the game. He's a complete package. So yeah, both incredible players and both one of a kind. I'm not gonna lie.
No, most definitely. One more question. We're gonna make it really quick. NRG, your next opponent. What are your thoughts on them?
It's gonna be a good game. They beat us last time, and we know what the code is to crack it. And I'm really good friends with players in Energy, Ethan, Sam, everyone. I'm really good friends with everyone on that team. So yeah, really, really fun to play against your friends. I'm not gonna lie. It's like an extra, little motivation. And yeah, just excited to play against them. And I'm sorry, Ethan, your year has to end, my boy.
Definitely am excited to watch this matchup for tomorrow. Tex, thank you so much for the opportunity for the interview. Hopefully you can get better for tomorrow, and of course, best of luck in tomorrow's matchup as well.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.